What's up YouTube, Dan here and welcome to the second episode of this mini-series where I'm basically revealing all the best players on career mode in the separate positions. So last episode there was the goalkeepers, there will be a link in the description to that video and it's on around 20 likes or so, so you've clearly enjoyed the first episode and I'm going to proceed with this series and we're going to move on to centre backs today. So we're going to start with the youngest or the cheapest and then move on to the more expensive players. So we're going to start with players that you would normally find if you're doing like a Championship career mode or like a Liga 2 career mode or a Bundesliga 2, that kind of range, and then the top end will be like the more richer clubs. So we're going to start with Roman Goli, I think that's how you say it. He's not the paciest of guys, but he's 67 rated, 17 years old, gets to a potential around the low 80s, and he's good for if you're doing a Championship career mode. And if you look around his stats, they will improve and he will get better over the next couple of years. So plays for AS Roma, 67 rated, 17 years old, and only valued at 1 million, so quite cheap. And you can even pick him up if you're doing like a team with more money. So if this video reaches maybe 20 likes, there will be the next edition of this career mode, which will be, or this mini series, sorry, which will be right backs and left backs, and then there will be centre mids, then obviously right wings and left wings, as so on. So the next centre back is going to be Luis Aguado, keeping to the theme of Championship players that you'd like to buy. 19 years old, 67 rated, gets to around about the 75 mark after your first season and goes on to around the 85 mark if you carry on playing him. So moving on to the next player, and it's going to be Kurt Zouma. So I'm currently using him in my AC Milan and he's actually 73 rated, 17 years old, and I've gone to around the 80 mark at the moment and I'm into my third season, so he does grow quite slowly. If I maybe bought him in my first season, he would have grown a bit quicker, sorry, but he's still got really good potential. I'd urge you to go and buy him because even if you're doing like a Championship career mode, he'll still fit that position really well, and anything from Championship to like the top end leagues like the Premier League, he would be one of the perfect fittings for your centre back position. So moving on to the next centre back, it's going to be Nastasic from Manchester City. Actually doing quite well in real life, 76 rated on FIFA, 19 years old and 7 million, so quite a lot to pay. But I would suggest buying him maybe in your third or fourth season because he does take quite a long time to grow, sorry. So I'd probably tell you to maybe buy him in your third or fourth season, let him grow, and then because if you don't play him in his first or second season, that means his potential is ruined. So moving on into our next centre-back now, it's going to be Varane from Real Madrid. Starts off 78 rated, 19 years old, got good stats all around, not the quickest of guys, but it does go up over the next couple of years. So I used him in my first season of AC Milan. He wasn't the best of centre-backs, but he still did really well, quite strong as well. So good all-round centre-back there, really recommend him, and I would recommend to get him on loan in your first season, even if you're doing it with like Manchester City or Barcelona. So moving on into our next one, it's going to be Juan Jesus, and I've actually bought him in my AC Milan. So he's 21 years old, 78 rated, worth 9 million, so quite a lot of money. So again, I would suggest maybe waiting till the second or third season like I did. He's got fantastic stats all around. His sprint speed on my career mode, which I'm currently on my third season in AC Milan, he's got to around 80 sprint speed, which is fantastically overpowered. He's got 73 acceleration, 75 sprint speed, but he is worth around 10 million, so that is quite a lot to pay. So in the next centre back, sorry, is going to be Ranocchia. I think that's how you say his name. If you know how to say his name, just tell me in the comment section. But he starts off 81 rated, 24 years old. He has 83 strength, not the quickest, but still he will go up a little bit, maybe to like the 75 in terms of sprint speed. He's a really strong centre back, more of a brick wall than like a pacey centre back, the likes of Juan Jesus and Varane. So he's got 82 slide tackling, 84 marking, 86 tackling, and worth 9.5 million. So moving into our next one, it's going to be N'Koulou from Marseille. Currently rated 80, 22 years old, 11 million. He has 81 acceleration, 77 sprint speed, and I think he can play as a right back or left back. I don't actually know, so I should have maybe gone into his bio, but I'd really recommend him, and he does get to around 85, 86. So might even pick him up in my AC Milan, just have him like the second defender like Kurt Zouma is doing at the moment. So moving on into our next one, it's probably my favourite centre-back on the game, and it's going to be Angelo Ogbonna. I think that's how you say his first name, but it's definitely Ogbonna. But 80 rated, 24 years old. You wouldn't think he'd had the best potential because he's 24 years old. I know that he's actually quite young in real life, but on FIFA, that sounds a bit old for a potential of around 87, 88, which is fantastic. And I've gone to around 85, 86 at the moment, and he will grow to 88, I know it, because he's growing really quickly in the moment. So moving on into our next centre-back now, it's going to be Mats Hummels. Again, one of my favourite centre-backs on the game, and 85 rated, 23 years old. And again, he's more of a brick wall defender, not the quickest, but he's good in the air, good at tackling, good at marking, which is all important. And that's why I like to play. I like to have one pacey centre-back, and I do like to have one kind of brick wall centre-back. So moving into our last centre back now is going to be Gerard Piqué. Starts off with an 86, gets to around 89-90, so might even pick him up in my AC Milan, but maybe not, because I want to see how far Juan Jesus and Ogbonna do. So again, another brick wall, 90 stand tackling, 87 slide tackling, and 89 marking, 84 long passing. I know that's not important, but he has actually got really good vision and interceptions for a centre back really. So that's the way for this second episode of this mini series. Next will be right backs and left backs. Sorry. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.